Everyone, my name is Katie Zaber. I'm here doing something different today. Instead of having a written interview, I'm here with AJ Park, author of War's Ending.
It's nice to be here today. We've had a lot of fun chatting. There's nothing more fun than being able to get to know other authors, and we've had a really good time today so far, just getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, this has been fun. Between the little technical gremlins affected and everything else, this is so much fun.
We've discovered that we both have a really special gift with technology. Anybody that knows me already makes fun of me for that special gift. So apparently you share it. So that's great.
Yeah, at least
So
we
cross
know
your
it's not
fingers.
just the one of us.
Right. I'm sure there's more people out there that have the same sort of, special way with technology.
Oh, yeah.
It must
So
be
tell me
because
more.
we write fantasy, right? We're ready for it to be worked by magic instead of by technology.
It should. It should just work magically every time.
Right. That would be awesome. That would be great.
So tell me more about your book, War's Ending.
So this book has actually been out for a while. It actually came out 2 years ago. I'm not as fast as some other writers. I'm trying to be so much more fast in the future. That's my goal. But I've got a copy of it here. So anyway, we love the cover of that one. It's been a really fun story. The root of the idea, when I started writing that, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we had a culture of people that wore masks all the time when they interacted with other people, and so they never show their faces to outsiders. And so what kind of preconceived notions would you have about that culture, and what would you assume about them in the absence of being able to actually see them? And so the girl on the cover, she is touring a new colony when all of a sudden she realizes that her people are actually at war with the masked people, and she didn't know it because it's kind of a secret. But all of a sudden she ends up in the middle of a battle, which she's not even remotely prepared for, and she ends up a captive of the masked people. As she's trying to figure out, what's going on, who are you, why do you do this, and she wants to resolve the conflict between the two cultures.
Oh, that's interesting how they just don't, the masks and everything with everything that's been going on with the world, like just.
I didn't really do that intentionally because it came out in 2019. It was pre-COVID. So I wasn't even thinking that. I'm like, oh, wow, what would it be like to try and interact with another culture if you couldn't actually see them? And so anyway, that was the root of the idea. I just thought that would be really interesting. And so it just kind of follows her adventures as she tries to stop the war. She gets to know these new people and discovers that they are wonderful people. And she starts to fall for one of them, but I don't want to tell you too much about that because you got to read the book. But
Oh, yes.
of course. And so the idea is just that once she starts to dive into the roots of the problems, she finds out that there's people on both sides who are interested in keeping this conflict going. And so she then has people from both sides that are trying to get rid of her personally. So she has kind of a tough time, but she does make it to the end of the book, just so you know.
That's always important. Don't kill off the main character.
Exactly. If she gets killed off, then she's not the main character, right?
Yeah.
I might have killed off a few other people, but that's another story.
You got to kill off some to keep up the drama and tension.
It's true. I have a grown-up daughter that actually she doesn't love to read very much. She read this book in an earlier version, and she enjoyed reading it, and she really enjoyed the book. But then I got to the end, and I'm like, I have to kill one more person, and it was down to 2 different people. I'm like, well, one of the other of these guys has to die, and I might have killed off her favorite character, and she doesn't know it because she read the previous version where he totally survived. Like, I'm so sorry.
Oh no! So she'll find out in the second book, or
she'll have to reread the final version. She read it before it was actually published, and so sometimes as an author you have to change your mind a little bit. It just because I hate killing people off, to be honest. Like, we talked about before, I'm an optimist, and so I like that to come out in my book. But if you're, it's just not realistic that everybody made it, and so then you have to go back and make some tough decisions.
Yeah, it's hard as an author to kill off a character that you just love, and you know that somebody else in the book really loves them, and that there's a connection. But then with the severed connection, it just opens up so many new doors.
It's true. And it, I don't know, it's got to be, it just has to feel right. And it didn't feel right with, I knew I had to do something to the end. Oh, but there you go. Anyway, so right now that's a standalone book, and I am working on a sequel, but it's not done yet. So I'll have to have a little bit more time. I think I'm going to take a page out of your book and alternate a little bit before I circle back to doing the sequel. So
helps keep the memory and brain fresh and keeps you going.
That's right. We were talking about stimulating your creative juices by switching projects, and that's awesome.
Yes, it really helps. And you have another book coming out soon, don't you?
I do. I'm really excited. I have been working on the sequel to my first book for a long time, but I just had a moment last fall when I'm like, if I die tomorrow, what book would I be really sad if I didn't publish? And so I have a story coming out in hopefully about 6 weeks, and it really, of everything that I've written so far, it's my favorite. And so I'm really excited to get this book out. It's going to be fantasy. Also, it's at this moment, it's a standalone book, but it certainly leaves lots of space to write other stories in this universe. And it has a little bit more magic in it than my first book does. It's got lots of crazy things, like we have this kingdom with a magical, like a fence, like a zone of protection in it. And originally it was a magic spell that was cast by a wizard. And so the ruler of this land has this like sixth sense. He kind of knows everything that's going on within his realm, which is, it's meant to be, oh, that's interesting, but also, oh, that's a little creepy. And
the ominous person just watching everyone.
And I know it's interesting. There's definitely some interesting stuff in there, but we have the guy who's ruling this kingdom that has 2 sons, and one of them is going to inherit and one of them is not. And the one of them that is not going to inherit is very unhappy about that plan. And so he starts to create a really involved plan B, where he decides he's going to look for some really dangerous, forbidden, dark magic that is going to give him power to take over everybody. And anyway, so lots more about that. So he's not that nice of a guy, but we're working.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. So I thought it would be really interesting to have people, because these two sons are actually identical twins. And I know that might be that's probably a familiar story, but 2 people who look identical but behave very differently. And so I think that's
interesting. I always think yin and yang with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I always love, that balance in between, or the 2 sides.
Right. And the younger brother who's not going to inherit is really not a nice guy, and so he's kind of doing everything to take down his brother's kingdom. And anyway, there's a key magical artifact that's the deal-breaking artifact, which is a ring with magical properties. And so the girlfriend of the first twin has this ring in her possession. So the not so nice twin actually takes the ring, takes the girlfriend, and disappears. And so then you'll have to find out what happens next. So anyway,
oh wow, there's
a lot going on in that story. So I kind of at some point wondered if I should just split it into 3 entire books, because I talk too much, I guess you can kind of tell that already.
Hey, people who talk are great storytellers.
Exactly. I hope so. Well, this one's a whopper, so it's got a lot of details in it, but so we got to find out if the good twin can find a way to get rid of, well, yeah, you kind of have to get rid of his brother eventually. Anyway.
But that's hard. You don't want to just get rid of your brother, but at the same time. So that's a lot weighing on him.
Yes, definitely. And I don't want to try to tell you the whole plot, because it was really involved. And so anyway, but the book is going to be called The Ring Keeper. So it refers to that ring with magical properties. And It's going to be really exciting. I've got a great designer working on the cover who is the same one that did the cover for War's Ending. And
which is a beautiful cover. I didn't get to say that before. Beautiful.
Oh,
I love that sun.
thank you.
Yes.
I really like his work. It's Brian Halley from bookcreatives.com.
Mm.
And he does a really good job. And so I will be doing a cover reveal as soon as I get it, but we've been going through a ton of stuff trying to get just exactly the right cover. And I don't know, it's always a
so
challenge.
Important. It's so important
really
to get that cover right. You don't get it right, and you don't,
because people do judge a book by its cover, right?
Always.
You know they do, right?
It's always what they do. Yeah,
of course.
Everyone does. How can you not? If you see something that's beautiful, you're immediately taken by it. If you see something that's like, then you kind of skip over it.
Right. And I like really eye-catching covers, and I like covers with people on them too. But we'll see what we get with this one. It was a challenge to try and find the right people, the right images to put people on the cover. So we'll see. I'm trying to just give him free rein so he can be fabulously creative and see what he comes up with.
They're the artists. They usually know. Every artist knows the best, right?
I hope so. We'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. But I'll make sure I do like a cover reveal party or something when we get the images back. So I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Nice.
I'm really excited to have that book out. So that's the one I'm like, well, if I die tomorrow, I better at least have published this book. So there you go.
That's awesome.
That's not an announcement. I'm
fine.
Thank you.
Anything else you would like to add, or?
Well, it's just always fun. It's been so fun having the chance to chat and to get to know other authors. We love doing that, and we love having the opportunity to do interviews, and it's really fun. So I hope everyone enjoys the books, and I'm excited to have them out there.
It's always fun to network and interact with other authors, hear from what their experiences are, and just grow with each other, really, because we're all just trying to grow in this business.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for taking the time to do this interview today. It's been really fun having a chance to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, take care, and thank you everyone for watching.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.